Welcome, it's Denome, and this market update is going to be extremely crazy. This whole week is going to be extremely crazy. So there's a lot of news that I want to unpack for you guys. I will talk about the chart here, and I will talk about fundamentals. Where do I basically predict the price will go from here? But first, let's actually talk about the news events or the events that will happen in the this week. First off, the spot Ethereum ETFs, they will start trading on July 26th, Polymarket predicts. So we can basically expect the ETFs to be launching. What is Monday is 22nd, Tuesday 23rd, Wednesday 24th. So basically on Friday they should start trading. And obviously this should be bullish for Ethereum, bullish for altcoins as well. So that's gonna be a huge event on a Friday. I'm quite happy about it. Personally, I don't think that event itself is gonna be super bullish, but once it launches, I think that's when altcoins will do well. But for Ethereum itself, I'm not 100% convinced that Ethereum will start outperforming other asset classes for the sheer fact that people have been accumulating Ethereum and they are ready to unload Ethereum as this actually finally launches. So at the same time, there will be people buying Ethereum through the ETFs, but at the same time, there will be people who will be basically trying to take profit from Ethereum after the ETF launches. So I don't know if they will cancel each other out, but I think the main beneficiaries are going to be assets or altcoins, maybe linked to Ethereum. But anyway, this is launching on apparently 26th of July, so pretty awesome news. Next up, Elon Musk, he actually changed his profile picture once again, and you can see these blue laser eyes. And the blue laser eyes, at least in the past, I don't know what Elon is meaning by this, but in the past they meant basically Ethereum maximalist or altcoin maximalist. So I don't know what he means by these blue eyes here, but at least in the past they mean that he was into crypto. So this is why Dogecoin is interesting. And next up, we do have a situation with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump will be going to the what is it? The Bitcoin conference in 2024, and this is going to happen on July 25th to 27th. So this week once again, and in this conference he will be talking about Bitcoin. I don't know if he even will touch any other altcoins, anything like that. It's a Bitcoin conference, so typically they don't want to talk about altcoins, but as you know, Donald Trump, he has his own NFT collection, and now he's flipped bullish on or at least he wants to support cryptocurrencies in United States. So obviously this event here is gonna be bullish because people are predicting that he will become the president. And these are just some of the things that he has mentioned, and this is from the Libertarian Conference. I think a week or two back before the assassination attempt. But in this short clip, this is only a 30-second clip, he said that he wants Bitcoin to be made in the United States. He doesn't want to drive the miners out of USA. He wants to ensure the right to self-custody. He wants to keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your crypto. So, and finally, he will never allow the creation of central bank digital currency. Those were the promises he made in this video. So obviously, this is very good for everybody who is in crypto if Donald Trump gets to be the president. And as of now, we did get the news that Kamala Harris is gonna replace Joe Biden in the election. And as of now, Polymarket is basically predicting 29% chance for Kamala Harris to actually win the election. Donald Trump is in a clear lead as of now. But let's see how things turn, because we don't know who's going to be the vice president for Kamala Harris. It could be an event where the money that was allocated to the Biden-Harris ticket, Kamala Harris will now get that amount of basically campaign money, and whoever is going to be the vice president, they may do some shenanigans that Kamala Harris will drop out to not be the president, and the vice president will actually become the president. So it could be that we will see Hillary Clinton as the vice president or something absolutely crazy. But all in all, it just looks very likely that we will get Donald Trump as the president, and obviously that's why people are quite excited because he is also promising a lot of money printing or subsidies, relief for Americans, which basically means money printing, and that is usually good for asset prices. He also wants to lower the cost of energy, basically meaning that he will produce more energy. And from that, if energy becomes cheaper and people are giving relief money, that means that there's going to be excess money for people to actually use. So this narrative is very, very powerful, even if when he gets into office, he doesn't implement those things in a perfect way. People's expectations start running wild, and that is basically my base case for going into the election, that the markets will go basically excited for Trump to win. But as of now, those were the news. When I just look at the chart, I will talk about the fundamentals quite soon. I actually posted this on Discord. Don't switch this one. So I shared this chart already here, that it doesn't seem that momentum is enough to get us to heaven yet. I hope I'm wrong. This was Bitcoin on 1 hour candles, and as you can see, the price was $68,000 roughly when I posted this, and now we have had that basically a pullback already from that high. Obviously, we could still go to heaven, and we could use this red line here as a springboard to basically take us to all-time highs. But as you can see, we have a triple bearish divergence on the 1 hour candles, so it just looks like we're gonna head to the downside, to be honest. And that's basically the absolute best time to buy Bitcoin for this cycle, it seems to me, at this moment in time. Because when we go to the daily view here, you can see that we're ranging inside this formation here. Let me actually do this as well. But when we take a look at the RSI, you can see that the RSI on the daily has broken to the upside already, which in my trading system, I consider this to be a very bullish signal, basically predicting an outbreak or a breakout. Not an outbreak, we don't want another pandemic to happen in the markets, but a breakout to the upside here, basically just seen in the chart before the breakout actually happens. So that's why I'm predicting that that will happen, but we don't have the momentum yet. So there may be one more chance to actually get and buy Bitcoin and altcoins before we break the all-time high, and then we will have much higher gains afterwards, quite likely. At the same time, we still have that looming recession fears in the market as well. So I don't want to get too excited, but looking at the charts, looking at Bitcoin itself, it's very hard to say when the markets completely crash. I made a video about that, that maybe it will be after Trump is elected and he gets into office, then we will see the financial crash. But I think that makes a lot of sense, that scenario. But at least until the election, I think markets are bullish until that time. So the charts to me just look like they want to go down first, and then we shake out the final hands out of the market, and then we go to the upside. And when we take a look at the fundamentals, let's first take a look at what the ETFs or the funds are doing. So here you can see this is an update from July 19th. So we don't have the Monday numbers yet. But anyway, you can see that the ETFs, the funds, they've been accumulating Bitcoin, but they're not massively convinced yet. So there's some accumulation, yes, but as you can see, the funds have already started to sell a little bit for the last couple of days here. The ETFs, this, by the way, tracks all the private funds, public funds, ETFs, everything. So this and all the ETFs on the planet, not just the US ETFs, and this website here. I also use the socialvalue.xyz, and this only tracks the US Bitcoin spot ETFs. So this is much more limited, and as you can see here, the couple of days, basically, they've still seen inflows into the ETFs, but when you consider all of the Bitcoin funds, we are actually seeing a little bit selling from those funds as well. So all in all, when we consider these things, it seems like Bitcoin is a little bit too expensive for these people to actually accumulate at these price levels. If anything, we are already seeing some sell pressure. Next up, let's take a look at the fundamentals here. So this is a little bit conflicting to me. So first off, when we take a look at the exchange reserves on all exchanges, this is basically liquid Bitcoin supply. You can see that a lot of Bitcoin is being taken out from exchanges at a very rapid rate, even at these price levels. Basically meaning that there are people, there are whales, there are holders who just want to accumulate Bitcoin at these price levels, even though they may be a short-term price crash or anything like that. They just want to take it out of the exchanges and put it on their reserves, and that's very bullish for the long-term potential for Bitcoin. So this is very nice to see, but for the short-term price predictions, this is not exactly accurate, but it's basically just showing us that there's energy being stored in Bitcoin, and when we finally have that breakout, it can fly quite high, because the sell pressure is not going to happen anytime soon, because these people are obviously, they want more than like a 5% gain or anything like that, because they take it out of the exchange. Next up, the chart that I want to show you here, well, I guess I can show you this one here. So this is the net unrealized profit loss chart, and as you can see, we are in the orange area, and this is an area where you usually have a pullback, and we already had a few pullbacks, but sometimes this can stay in the orange area for quite a while. The mania can basically continue. So even though it is in the orange area, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a terrible area, but obviously it's not as good as being in the blue area, and this is not touching the red area yet. But I just want to show you that there is some danger in the market as well, even though I am bullish. But the chart that I do want to show you here is this here. So we're looking at the balance on accumulation addresses. So these are Bitcoin addresses that have never had any outgoing transactions, and as you can see, during this time we have seen a lot of accumulation here. And from my previous video, I don't know what happened, but this balance used to be 836,000 Bitcoin, and now for some reason there's suddenly 2 million Bitcoin more in these accumulation addresses. So the calculation method has changed, or they track different wallets. I don't know what exactly happened here. I just saw this difference here, but all in all, you can see that the number is growing very rapidly. Just when we take a look at the last, let's say this month alone, so from June 28th to now July 20th, you can see the number is 2871, and it used to be here. Let's actually take 1 month here, 25344. So almost 350,000 Bitcoin has been added to these accumulation addresses. So there are some crazy holders who just want to accumulate Bitcoin at these price levels even. So this is obviously super good for the long-term price potential increase for Bitcoin. So even though in the short term we might be bearish, there's just a lot of reason to be bullish in the long term, in my opinion. That's why basically why I wanted to showcase this chart here. Next up, for the stable coins, you can see that we actually reached $154 billion in stable coins, and now we seen a little bit sell off here as well. So this is also nice for the potential price increase for Bitcoin, and you can see that the trend that we had until basically June or early July here, that has actually changed, and we are now accumulating more or creating more stable coins in the market than we were from basically April until now. So there is some acceleration here on stable coins as well, which is very nice. But just in the last day, we have seen some sell-off here. Next up, this is quite interesting. So we are taking a look at the number of Bitcoin holders, and this has still gone down. The retail investors have been selling, and we saw these 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin wallets decline over time as well. But to contrast that, we saw some increases in 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin. So basically, these whales are canceling each other out. But when we take a look at the 10,000 to 100,000 Bitcoin wallets, you can see that these have actually continued to decline over time, kind of indicating to me with these yellow lines as well that some people just want to actually also sell here, even though we are seeing a lot of accumulation, which means that in the short term, because these massive, huge super whales are not buying yet, they may actually wait for even lower prices before they jump back into the market. That's my analysis, at least looking at this chart here. And finally, we do have this chart here, which is showing us when old money is moved on the chart. So old money, Bitcoin that hasn't been moved for over a year, and Bitcoin that hasn't been moved for over 3 years. This spiked during this time here, and now we are seeing the RSI divergence, basically to the downside bearish divergence, tripled bearish divergence on the 1 hour. So this to me kind of signals to me that some old money wanted to sell here. Maybe they want to buy back at a lower price. So in the short term, to me, the fundamentals support my idea that this will break to the downside. I don't know exactly how low. What I would expect is basically to hit this line here. So 64k Bitcoin. From here, we basically go back to the upside. That's my current idea, at least for it. I don't know if it will go like this. It could go even lower. I don't know. It's hard to say. But overall, just in the long term, we are quite bullish. And now that we've talked about Bitcoin, let's actually hop over and talk about altcoins, because there's something extremely interesting about altcoins. First altcoin that I do want to talk about is Doge. Because when we take a look at Doge, there has been a breakout on Doge price. So let's take a look at the weekly price of Doge. Let's actually take a look at the daily price of Doge. And you can see that we had this like a downward trend line here. And once that was broken, we had a pretty high price increase on Doge. So this was 100% basically a gain on Dogecoin price from the breakout level. And right now we have broken that once again. It's not as a violent breakout as we saw here in February, but it is a breakout nonetheless. So Dogecoin does look very good, and when you combine it with the idea that Elon Musk may be about to announce something, who knows what, Doge might actually start flying. Elon Musk has teased us with the Twitter or X payments system, so maybe that will be launched quite soon. Doge will not initially be part of the X payment system, but the speculation obviously will be that Doge will be added for that X payments system. So Doge might be a pretty decent play here. Another decent play, in my opinion, is going to be LDO. So LDO, this is the Lido Dao, and from the previous time that I mentioned Lido, I realized that they are currently under the threat of SEC suing the Lido DAO. But when we take a look at the price of Lido, the total value locked of Lido, it is this blue line here. You can see that even though there's an SEC lawsuit going on, we are not seeing a decline of total value locked. Currently, the total value locked is $34 billion. And when we take a look at the fully diluted value of Lido market cap, is not even $2 billion. So the total value locked to market cap ratio is very, very good for this token. It's almost like 0.05 or 1 to 20 is the ratio from total value locked to the market cap. There's not much inflation for Lido either. And you can also take a look at the total revenue that this protocol has generated. So it is a profit generating machine, and the total profit or revenue that this has generated for its users is $168 million. Obviously, most of it is given to or all of it is pretty much given to the Ethereum stakers, but at the same time, they have been accumulating their treasury. And from this treasury, even though it says $345 million in treasury value, it is actually only $150 million, because $200 million of this treasury is marked as the Lido token itself, which is not, at least Lido themselves have said that they don't consider that to be the treasury. So that number is a little bit wrong here. This is the right number, $155 million here. I don't know why the chart is still giving us the wrong number here. But all in all, it is creating revenue. It is highly popular. It is supporting the Ethereum ETF narrative, and this is the biggest liquid staking protocol on the planet, and just tokenomics, everything looks very, very good to me. So in my opinion, Lido is going to be an extremely decent pick going into the Ethereum ETF announcement. And this is unfortunately still on the downward trend line here, but take a look at what we do have here on the RSI. We have a breakout, and now we have a test on the breakout on the daily chart of Lido Dao LDO. So we had the breakout. It could still be a fake out, and this for whatever reason goes to the downside. But to me, this is looking like the best opportunity to buy LDO at a very, very, very cheap price. So I wanted to highlight this project as well. And obviously, I'm not paid by this. It's just an idea that I have, and I think this is gonna do quite well. And when we take a look at the price potential here, you can see the price was here at $4 in January 2024. So to go there, we have a potential 100% gain on LDO. Let's see, do we have another one? LDO USD, maybe Bitstamp would have a little bit, because I remember it was $6 at some point in the past, but that was when they were releasing a lot of supply here at the same time. Let me actually put it here. So here the price was almost $6. Yeah, that was the all-time high on Lido, but the fully diluted market cap was much higher, obviously, because not all of the supply was already released, but now most of the supply has been released. So the fully diluted value is pretty close to the actual market cap already. There's only like 10-15% left on the supply that will enter the market, if I remember correctly. But there may be a lot of different altcoins that may do well if Bitcoin is going to the new all-time high eventually. But I'm just saying that there's some ideas that you can start playing with altcoins as of now, even though Bitcoin might have a pullback from its current price level. Some altcoins just are basically at the bear market lows, and I think that eventually the market, the money will rotate back into the good protocols like Matic, like LDO, and probably even Doge, and others, obviously. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video, and I hope you got a lot of value out of this video, and consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, and bye bye.